I would tell you my number one marketing advice is to be empathetic. Everybody's so selfish when they market. They want the customer to do what they want them to do instead of the way I think about it, which is more counterpunching, which is listen to what your customer's doing that you're trying to sell and market to, and formulate a marketing strategy around that. And so for me, the reason I today push Facebook so much is because at scale, whether in B2B or B2C, Facebook is underpriced attention that the masses are paying attention to. And if you become an amazing practitioner in the pictures, written words, audio, and video of that medium, you win. So when people watch television or listen to radio or read magazines, then you need to be good at that craft. My number one marketing advice is empathy and then skill set around once you realize where they are. And to me, in November 2017, that is to become the disproportionate best Facebook marketer that you could be.
Thank you. Now, Helle-Marie Bottrup, where are you? Do we have Helle?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm here.
Yeah, perfect.
How are you?
Hi, Gary.
How are
Nice
you?
to see you today.
Great to see you.
So I am actually in the Facebook marketing business, and sometimes my clients, they say something around they don't want to market themselves too much. They're
Personally.
afraid. Yeah, personally, maybe they're like therapists or they run some courses or whatever. And
Or ugly.
I'm
kidding,
no,
I'm kidding. Go ahead,
I
go
hope
ahead.
not. But sometimes people have this feeling that they don't want to
Yes.
be too much in other people's face.
Yes.
And do you have advice for that situation?
I would tell you that you should not convince them of that. You know, because I'm so out there, people are always like, okay, should I build a personal brand for my business? You know, should I be in their feed 5 times a day, every day? I think the answer is not necessarily, right? I think, to me, I think it's reverse engineering the individual. You know, now, if your business is selling yourself as a fitness instructor or a lawyer or a financial investor or a real estate agent, you're going to want to be out there, right? And if the question is more about the difference between alpha American DNA, where you're out in front, and other parts of the world where people are more reserved, you know, at some level, it's very difficult to make somebody do something they're not comfortable with. They'll never be good at it. I want to remind everybody, some of the biggest companies in the world, you don't even know the name of the CEO, let alone what she or he looks like. So just because there's certain people taking advantage and others of the opportunity of building personal brand as a branding mechanism to build their business, it doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. And so I never try to convince people to build their personal brand or be out there more. I remind them that if they're good at it and enjoy it, is an incredibly owned and controllable IP that is unbelievably scalable. But I would tell you that I don't think this is a one-size-fits-all situation in the environment. And so I'm not overly passionate that everybody needs to build their personal brand, but there is significant upside if you can. Cool.
Ritwas. Upstairs.
Very nice.
Run, Forrest, run.
That was quick.
Thank you.
Hey. Oh, okay, don't worry, it'll come, I'm sure. There we go.
Okay. Thank you so much for the enormous amount of content that you provide the regular people with. That's quite surprising.
Thank you.
And I have a question for you. How do you start to market the service that people currently don't see as something that they would benefit from?
First, you have to really wrap your head around humility, right? My entire career has been around this question. When I first got into the wine business, I tried to make Americans drink Spanish wines, New Zealand wines, you know, wines from obscure places in France like the Mataron and Languedoc. And because I saw that being my opportunity, I felt that I was a disproportionately good marketer and storyteller, that there was more arbitrage in me bringing these brands and these regions to the surface. As you can imagine, when I started talking about social media in 2007 and 8 and 9, you know, as a lot of you know, most companies still don't believe that social media is ROI positive. That is 9 years later. And so the first thing I would tell you is too many people get frustrated when they're going into this kind of world. If the market doesn't perceive the value of it, that means that you're making a bet that it's true and that over the next 24 to 48 months they will, because if it's longer than that, you'll be out of business by the time you are proven to be right. You know, it's not fun to be right and not get the benefits of being right because you were so dramatically early. Like, cool, I understand that you know that VR is going to happen and virtual reality is going to happen. The problem is it's going to take 20 years before it's at the scale that may benefit for the way that people are building their businesses today. So I would first say humility, and then you need to go on a hardcore education pounding. How many people here have been following my content for more than 5 years? Raise your hands. So these 12, 15 people, I've been saying the same fucking shit for a decade. Every day, for free, at scale, more than any goddamn human being on the mobile device. And I still have to do it every day, all day, to everybody. And so it's enormous patience and empathy, and make sure that your timing isn't too far ahead. And then finally, just continuously looking for underpriced attention, because you won't be able to afford to tell your story in overpriced attention for too long if you're selling something people aren't ready for. And then you've got to really pound the value prop, right? I'm not into social media because I like technology and gadgets, and I'm a technologist and I think it's fun or cool. I'm in it because I think attention is the #1 asset if you want to build a business, and I look for where it's underpriced and overpriced. And when I speak to it, I speak it in business terms, which eventually get people to understand it in business terms, not because of the altruistic, it's nice to reply to somebody on Twitter. And so I would make sure that you're speaking the language of the individuals that you're trying to convert, and that's the framework you have to live in. And this model has the most upside, but also has the most graveyards.
Thank you.
Then it's Karin. Over here. Can we have a mic runner? Thank you. He's fast.
Hi, Gary. Welcome to Denmark.
Thank you for having me.
Like, I guess a lot of other people in here, I am an entrepreneur with a very small business. I have 3 employees. I'm in the creative business. I'm a jeweler. And that means that obviously I'm wearing a lot of hats,
Yes.
as we call them. So my question is, given all the things that I need to do, what percentage of time should I allocate for marketing
Versus what else?
versus everything? In my case, talking to customers, designing, creating jewelry, handling my employees, everything, admin, decoration, and you name it.
I mean, I think how many people here are entrepreneurs? Amazing. So you have the audacity to want to live life on your terms. And so hold the mic. Let her hold it for a second. My friend? Thank you. One more time, hands in the air. We have the audacity to live life on our terms. The percentage of successful entrepreneurs, ones that can make a living and live their lives on their own back, not in a company structure, is quite low. The percentage of those that amass the kind of wealth that everybody thinks they're going to amass when they get into entrepreneurship is even smaller than that. The answer to your question, my friend, is all of it, all the time, always, forever.
Yay!
And so to that point, and that's collecting the energy in this room, I think we all understand. You're in a boat, there's marketing, there's your employees, there's sales, there's the product. If the jewelry isn't good, who gives a shit if the marketing's good? It's not right. There's all these things, and we're all in a boat, and here pops a hole, and you've got to go put your finger in it. And then there's one over here, and your toe, and then finally it fixes, and good, and now 2 more over here. We are in the firefighter business. I am in constant anxiety. I have to be here for the next 4 hours. When I get off, America has started today. My office is in motion. We're 6 hours ahead. There's a lot that's about to happen in my business in the next 5 hours, and this is fun, and I'm obsessed with the admiration, and I can't wait to take selfies and high fives and answer questions and give a great keynote, and I'm so excited to be in this amazing town and meet you guys, and it's fucking incredible. Yet, the second it's over, from the high of people traveling hours, or I changed their lives, I take my phone and I have 17 headaches. This person quit, and this client's mad, and this didn't go well, and this is a problem, and everything, always, forever, because we have the audacity to want it in this way, which is the best way to have it for a human if you're capable.
And let's find the capabilities to find the next question. Kasper. Yeah?
Hello, Gary.
Hello, my man.
I do watch what you do and not what you say,
I like it.
but still I have a question. I have a lifestyle brand and a DJ collective. So I'm a DJ, I'm playing after hours today. So my question is, my own like DJ promotion, or for me to, yeah,
I
you
see
the
it.
question.
I would probably do it. If there's nothing that stands out to why not doing it under your name, I would do it under your name.
Cool.
Because personal will always over-index versus a logo. And I think that we are now in the day and age where people are okay with understanding people are complete people and have multiple things going on. I remember the early days of this, people would have like a very different life on Facebook than they had on LinkedIn. You know? And I would always laugh because they thought they were tricking somebody. Like, we all know, you know, it's funny, now that I'm a parent, my daughter is doing a lot of things that I did, and at 8, I thought it worked. Now I just realized my mom was letting me do it and laughing at me. And that's how I think about why it's okay to mix personal and professional. You're not tricking anybody that you're so professional with a nice picture with a tie on LinkedIn while you're throwing up on Instagram. So I think we should just embrace it. And so I think the personal part will always over-index over a logo.
What?
Good.
All right, now it's time for Jesper. Yep, over here.
Hey Gary,
How are you?
I'm good. So
You don't-
I have a
you-
micro
you-
question.
You don't want to stand up?
I can stand up if you want.
Respect. Let's clap it up for him.
So I have a micro question. What kind of content should the world's leading VR physical therapy company be putting out on social media?
First of all, Jesper, you need to be putting out content that makes people understand what the fuck that means. Right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And I'm making a joke, but you know that's that's similar to 2 questions ago. Your job right now is to get people to even understand what that is. I mean, you know, this is a room that has a chance of understanding what that means. The 99% of normals have no idea what you're talking about. I think a lot of us that are fortunate enough to understand the cutting edge of marketing or technology have one certain language, but then there's the rest of the world, the ones we're trying to sell to, the ones that don't overthink their copy on an Instagram photo, like the normals. And so for the normals, and even for this group, we've got to really wrap our head around what VR, you know, physical therapy is. I think we can theoretically understand, but I think the first thing is you have to put out content to make us even comfortable that it's not a janky experience, because I think the ones that understand it's got ways to go technology-wise. There's a lot of things that are there, and so I would just over-educate. I think, you know, I don't know if you follow me, but when I talk about documenting versus creating.
Yeah, we're doing that. Been vlogging for like the last year,
Huge.
everything we've done.
Huge. And so then you've got to figure out, if you're doing that, you're 3/4 of the way there. Now you got to figure out 2 core things. Is it interesting? And do you know how to distribute it?
Yeah,
You know?
number 2 was down, but 1 is like you're talking about, is the education thing that's maybe, we're doing the storytelling, but like more explainer videos, or where we at?
I think, again, it's a lot of these similar answers. Like, you need to make entertainment content and informational content. You're going to need them both in a business like this. And so I would just keep, creating at scale. It's just imperative. And then I would also think a lot about influencers, I mean, if you've got good, tracking on what's going on Instagram or other platforms, and you get the luxury of having somebody maybe tear an ACL or something of that nature, and you can get an influencer to go through rehab with you, I think there could be an incredible narrative there that can bring disproportionate awareness to your product.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Cool, you got it.